People want to play Warzone competitively. It's a fun game, and there's a lot of potential for a true competitive scene here, but as of the recording of this video, there aren't any custom game options for Warzone, and that needs to change. Plus, the Warzone training mode shows that there are bots specifically programmed for Warzone BR, so I don't know. There's no reason why there aren't custom games. Warzone is not a perfect game. There is no such thing as a perfect game, except for maybe Halo 2. Well, it wasn't perfect. You guys know what I mean. But I do love Warzone. I wish I could play it more often, but we all know it's not perfect, and every player has their own ideas of what needs to change before the game can truly be great. If that's even a thing. I'm sure you have your ideas. What's up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. I did some digging. Throughout the community. And I put together a list of some of the biggest things that Warzone needs to change immediately in order to be a truly great, iconic Battle Royale game. I think it's safe to say it's a very good game. But everything can be better. You guys let me know in the comments what you think Warzone needs to change to be the best it can be. Drop a like, and here we go. First off, an obvious one for a lot of people. Footstep audio. Now I know, and it's one that people have been complaining about since the beginning. And I will say, the footstep audio in the game has gotten a lot better since launch when you could barely hear people and sometimes enemies were just completely silent, yet they didn't have any dead silence on. Now, there's still work that needs to be done here. You can still only hear footsteps when they're really, really close to you. Past 10 meters or so, well, it's a total coin toss on whether you actually hear enemies in Warzone or not. The footstep audio has gotten better, but it's still incredibly inconsistent. It's so funny to me too, because when Modern Warfare launched, everybody and their mother was complaining the enemy footstep audio was too loud. But I guess Infinity Ward really took that criticism to heart, because now you can't hear anything half the time at all. They turned the dial the other way. They corrected the problem a little too much. And now we have the opposite problem. I don't know. Just figure out what's going on with the footstep audio and make it consistent. Consistency is key. I don't know what the deal is with Battle Royale games and having really bad enemy footstep audio, but it's a thing, especially in Warzone. I see a ton of you are watching and enjoying the content on the channel, but you're not subscribed. Take a second, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, and let's get the Team Chaos subscriber percentage up into the 30s. Next up is the RPG accuracy. Now this is one that I am a little surprised has not been patched as of the making of this video. In every Call of Duty game before Modern Warfare, the RPG was this super strong but largely inaccurate launcher. The rocket would go straight for about 20 feet, but then it would start taking random angles and veer off. It made it where you couldn't snipe people with the freaking launcher, okay? What happened there? The RPG in Modern Warfare has really good accuracy. I've hit some of the craziest shots personally from the top of the radio tower down onto the runway. I think it was honestly an 11-second shot. I mean, it travels pretty much straight for a long distance, and then once it does finally start angling, it barely moves off course. This mixed with the massive blast radius leads to people just sniping cars, trucks, all kinds of things from absurd distances or sitting on top of buildings like I did and waiting for people to come by. Now, there were some changes done to the damage output of the RPG's explosion, but Infinity Ward needs to do something about the accuracy, because I think that is the bigger problem here. Make it like it was in COD 4. Make it like it was in Modern Warfare 2, where the RPG is really good at shorter distances, but longer range, it's a total gamble. Now let's talk about floor loot. Am I the only one, raise your hand if you agree with me, who thinks floor loot is still a little inconsistent? I understand there is a rarity system, and I'm not always going to get the good stuff. But why is it there are games where it seems like I can find 50 PP Bisons and 20 VLK Rogues? I mean, when the loot pool was changed the most recent time, I think something got screwed up, because it's very repetitive right now, and that creates a balancing issue where the first person to get a rarer gun is at an advantage because there are so few of them actually on the field. The floor loot needs to be tweaked just a little bit so it's a little more consistent, and there isn't such a massive gap between what's good and what's bad. Let me ask you guys, how often does your console, PC, whatever crash? How frustrating is it to you? Well, this is another obvious one that needs to be addressed. Warzone has a lot of stability issues to this day, both with the servers and the game itself. Sometimes servers will just crash on you randomly. Sometimes the lobby will just dissolve into the matrix. Sometimes the game will just crash. And then, if you're on PC, you sometimes have that dev error problem that prevents people from launching the game at all. And Infinity Ward has been pretty much radio silent on what you're even supposed to do at this point if you get one of those dev error messages. Modern Warfare is a very buggy game, but that doesn't excuse very basic problems with the game's stability, especially if you have 30, 40, 50 million people playing it. You have to get this smoothed out. I know, it's late into the lifespan, and we still have this issue. The stability of both the game servers and the game itself needs to be addressed right now. 2 words for you: region lock. It's one of those things that just needs to be standard in multiplayer games as big as Call of Duty. After all, we all know connection is everything in a fast-paced shooter. We all know Warzone has a massive player base right now, so why would they not region lock the game? And for those that don't know, let me catch you up. Region lock is basically putting a wall on certain areas of the world so you can't connect to lobbies beyond a certain ping threshold. In games with smaller player bases, region locking is kind of a bad idea because you need all these players you can get to keep the flow of the game going. But in a game as big as Warzone with tens of millions of people logging in, there is no reason to region lock. It would improve the connection for everybody and make the game a smoother experience. Now, I know certain areas of the world don't have many local servers, and I get why those areas don't want to be region locked. What I'm talking about is mainly within North America. Why do people in California connect to servers in Florida? Why do people in Europe connect to servers in North America? In slower paced games, it's not that big of a deal if it happens, but in fast-paced first-person shooters, that connection can be a huge balancing issue, which it is. Some kind of region lock needs to be implemented. At number 5, the mantle button. Am I the only one, raise your hand, who has been killed a ton of times because I accidentally started mantling an object when I was just wanting to jump? I know. I'm not the only one, and surprisingly, Modern Warfare doesn't actually have a setting to fix it. I say surprisingly because back in Black Ops 4, there was an option for this. In BO4, there was an option you could turn on where jumping would automatically mantle a nearby object, like it is in Modern Warfare, but there's also an option where you would have to click the jump button again while you were airborne to mantle said object, basically meaning you press jump once to jump and you double tap to mantle. But this option is not in Modern Warfare or Warzone. The mantle animations in Warzone are pretty long. And in the one and done game, like a battle royale like this, you want to minimize technical errors as much as possible. I think this option should be added as soon as possible. Give us the option to turn off automatic mantling and make it so in order to mantle a set piece, we have to click the button while we're already airborne from a jump. This would save Warzone players a ton of headaches. All right, you knew it was going to be in here. SBMM, skill-based matchmaking. It's one of those things that makes sense in theory, but it seems like every single game to actually execute it has serious issues. Warzone's SBMM it's weird because it seems like every few weeks there will be settings tweaked behind the scenes. Just like a week or two ago, everybody started noticing it got a lot stronger, but other people thought it got weaker. Maybe it's in our heads. I can appreciate IW actually tweaking the matchmaking to try and make it better, but am I the only one who thinks it should be turned off until they figure it out? Why are we essentially beta testing this matchmaking feature? We're in July. Plus, the skill matching just makes the game sweatier for everyone. It makes it harder to goof around with off-meta weapons, and most importantly, it greatly increases your waiting time when you queue up. Now, I can get it. The place for skill-based matchmaking, I do. I do, but I think it should be turned off entirely until IW figures out what they actually want to do with it. Plus, you never know. Maybe the community will freaking love it if you turn it off and you won't ever turn it back on. That's a thought. Custom lobbies. How come Blackout had custom lobbies but Warzone doesn't? Custom lobbies are not only great for learning the game and getting the hang of all the controls, but it also allows clans and teams to set up scrimmages and money matches without having to exploit the public matchmaking to get there. Remember back in the early days of Fortnite when people were trying to scrim, but in order to do that, they all had to queue up on the same servers at the same time, and then every once in a while you would just be casually playing and accidentally join a scrim lobby? People want to play Warzone competitively. It's a fun game, and there's a lot of potential for a true competitive scene here, but as of the recording of this video, there aren't any custom game options for Warzone, and that needs to change. Plus, the Warzone training mode shows that there are bots specifically programmed for Warzone BR, so I don't know. There's no reason why there aren't custom games. Almost every other BR on the market has them, and Warzone has the potential to have them. And speaking of getting competitive, why is there no true ranked mode? The most common criticism of Modern Warfare and Warzone is that the skill matching and normal public matchmaking is so strong, but there is no true dedicated competitive mode, when really, it should be the other way around. Public matches should be anything goes, in the connection first, while the rank mode should have the true skill match system. The problem with the secret skill matching system, like the one that's in place now, is that nobody can actually see what their rank is. Nobody can actually see if they're doing better or worse in the system's eyes than they were before. And when you can't see your rank, there's no motivation to actually grind. We need a true ranked mode in Warzone. I know everybody would agree with me. This is one of those things that almost every other BR game has, but Warzone doesn't. I get it, Infinity Ward wanted Modern Warfare to be a casual-friendly game, but they have this really bad tendency to just completely shun the competitive community in order to maintain that casual appearance. It needs to change. And finally, better anti-cheat. When Warzone launched, there was a cheating epidemic. Aimbots and wall hacks were everywhere. Then after a few weeks, things started to even out and the game got a little more clean. But within the last few months, there have been another wave of cheaters starting to come into the game and people are actually getting tired of it. I really don't know what to blame here. It's well known that Infinity Ward's anti-cheat software is pretty primitive, and they do a lot of the banning manually rather than with the program, which just means it takes longer for accounts to be flagged and cheaters to be banned. Now, I don't know if the cheaters have just figured out how to get around the existing anti-cheat, but something has to be done. You have to keep up. The cheating problem is definitely better now than it was when the game launched, but it's definitely not perfect, and for a game as well funded as COD, it absolutely should be better. There's no excuse. When indie games and AA games have better anti-cheat than Call of Duty, you know priorities need to be shifted somewhere. And there you have it. Those are some changes that Warzone needs to make right now to stay on top and be even better. If you guys have any additional changes you would like to add to the comment section, drop them down there, and I'll see you soon.